The best platform for getting email subscribers for your financial media biz. This is Free Leads. Sam. I am looking for the best platform to get subscribers for financial media biz. I am using YouTube. Okay, I've got a YouTube channel, not this one, right? Better one that has my name, and X. And I'm able to stream from Restream to YouTube and X. I've got a ticker on the bottom, kind of like TBPN, Technology Brothers. It's the one that OpenAI acquired for 100 million or whatever, 200, enough for them to eat. And yeah, so Restream is good. I got some. I bought like a lot of different, like 4 different AirPods. I'm saying it quietly so my mom doesn't hear. I used a credit card. Um, but no, really cheap ones. I only spent like 20 bucks off Temu. But I'm able to hear myself. I'm able to monitor myself through these AirPods, which is I think going to be a way that I can hear the person I'm talking to through Restream. I was having trouble in the first interview I did with the CEO. I later learned today that company that he's the CEO of, he's been the CEO since 2019, so like 8 years or whatever, 6 years. And the company's been around for 40 years. And I guess it started in Greenwich, Connecticut. And now it's in Athens. He previously did an interview with someone with a Greek sounding name. So it's like Greece is, that's the shipping center. But the challenge with an interview like that, it's his revenues went up way higher because of the Strait of Hormuz, and he ships tankers of oil, right? So I really like how there's a channel called MarketBeat, and they are able to get really topical people on a specific day. So like Bitcoin today, they had a Bitcoin person, crypto guy. So a Strait of Hormuz guy would have been good, maybe during the Strait of Hormuz. But I can kind of see how the pieces can fit together, where if you have enough of these people, in your sphere, or it's mutually beneficial, you have a working relationship, you can send a note and say, hey, do you want to jump on for 15 minutes? And I can see how that's just a much better protocol than like, let's schedule an interview and we'll do it, on this date, like 2 weeks in the future when you're available. And, you know, you may not get like the CEO top tier person, uh, but you're going to get someone who's talking about it now, and they also get to highlight their company, whether that's a newsletter or whether that's a, coaching program or or a ticker, like a company. Like this guy is the CEO of this shipping company. Um, and so that's the only way to really package it so it's mutually beneficial. Otherwise, people are not just, they don't care about some random company, right? So it's going to be broad enough to draw them in. Was thinking about having like, 9 trillion of the national debt has to be paid back this year, and then drawing in into the middle of saying, there's a rotation happening into oil, um, that, inflationary conditions are, lending themselves to, and that's bringing in an actual purpose, a catalyst, like bringing someone down the stages of awareness, right, into a desire to find a stock or whatever, and then, you know, saying, and, now going to introduce this company, you know, and maybe I'll have to give kind of like Zip Trader, Charlie, if you've seen that channel, they have like 800 subscribers. He has a nice house in LA from what I've seen, so he seems to be doing all right. He has a newsletter. It's just him, it looks like. So he's like, if Market Beat, just if Matt just decided to be lazy, as far as I could tell, and not, grow the thing. Uh, but anyway, he has a sponsored ticker at the very end, which is just like a couple charts, and he just sort of reads like verbatim what they told him to read, which works, and I'm sure he gets paid well for it. I mean, his videos get like 50,000 views or whatever on average. Um, whatever the CPM for that is, he probably gets like 5 grand or something. Maybe 15, probably not. I can't do the math public math, while we're doing this video, but it makes sense. All right, I'll do it. So 50K views would be 50,000, right? So if it's $20 CPM, that would be 20,000. They would have to pay for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he got, you know, or 10,000, they'd have to pay for that, whatever the CPM is for running financial traffic. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you got 10 grand for 50 per video. Sounds conservative. I don't know. Anyway, that's where this is going. So I kind of, maybe you didn't talk to this guy in the most welcoming way to his agenda of talking about the different facets of his company, right? But he also knows, and that the story has to be led into and fit into current events and people's awareness. Like when I said FOMC minutes are today, and people are going to be talking about that. He nodded. He's like, "Yep." He gets. He's more mature than me in more ways than one, so he gets it. But so yeah, to continue to have people like that on, I think is going to be powerful, particularly with a live show format where it's 3 hours at a time, so you could just slot someone in like TVPN, and maybe they'll be sponsored in the forms of remuneration when there's a certain number of viewers, or when I can find a way to package the videos in such a way where I can visualize it getting 1,000 views at least, right? Which would be like, they'd have to pay $20 for that, or maybe $50, depending on how you classify as CPMs of targeted people who are like high quality audience. Probably not $50 CPM, right? $50 was the calculation I did for 1440s when they said they charge 6 grand for a placement in their newsletter. It goes out to 1 million people, 6 figures. It's like that's, that doesn't quite fly, even if they had 4 million people in the newsletter. Anyway, so that's smart. I think, as smart as I can do stuff, I would love to do things smart, and run traffic, and, just even if I lose a little money on the traffic, make back like $5 on an $8, pay $8 for a lead, make back $5. But I did get an unsubscribe on the carefully formatted newsletter I made. I didn't really bake it. I hand wrote it the first time, sort of like in a way that I knew finance Twitter, the people who were in my sphere that I would like comment on their stuff, right? The people with other news, people who trade actively, or you get the idea. Someone who follows like TBPN would like the newsletter I wrote. The same number of people clicked that as the one I wrote the following day, which I made with Claude, right? So it's like I might as well just make it with Claude. And then it's like, well, why do a newsletter at all? Especially because the people who are clicking from the newsletter, which it's only a handful of clicks, I've had like 5 per deliver. So like maybe 10, 15, maybe max, maybe 10-ish. None of them have clicked through on the sponsored page of the after hours and signed up for those recommended newsletters. So all the payment that I've gotten for the recommended newsletters on the after hours, which has been good for me, has come straight as the thank you page from YouTube to get the best 6 stocks would be the opt-in squeeze page, and then the offer wall, would be the first thing, the thank you page, the first offer wall. I only have one offer wall currently, but it is nice to have that, to have that extra like $50 a month along with the YouTube revenue, which is, $50 at least, more like 100, 150 or something. So yeah, that's all gonna compound, I would think. But there's always the, off chance. Who knows what could happen? The channel could go down. There could be some sort of strike. There could be some sort of copyright violation, unintended, and that whole thing is gone. So I am operating that way a little bit. But the next step will really to be if I get a 3-hour show format that's like I watch Amit Kukraja. He has like 5,000, 10,000 viewers. Not 10,000. Yeah, 5,000 definitely be fair. A lot, often. He'll go live twice a day. But he has someone on, to talk to during the second part of his live. So like initially, market open, market close makes a lot of sense. He just looks at the charts, and then talks, and this is what the news that happened is. And so maybe I just got to do that and, not fall into the, I'm going to interview certain people. I'm going to sort of be adjacent to the VC world, which is like, magnetic and, tantalizing, right? But also at the same time, someone like Chris Camillo, who's made great numbers in the market over a decade plus, said he actually lost money on private investments after doing like 150 or more, or it's like break even, or not lost money. His return is like 8 to 10% max, probably even a little less than that. So his returns in the market obviously be much better because he's, has that skill set. So, of course, returns in a business would be better than that too, of course, much, much better. So that's what I'm trying to do ultimately, right? Is, not lose money in the stock market, not lose a lot of money, really make money there. But if there is some type of black swan event there with the strategy I'm using, which certainly could happen, um, then I'm able to, have a newsletter show, the beginnings of what is a market beat. It's today, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Um, Dissemination platform for financial information, like a data warehousing, like what was like Investors Business Daily, or the Axion, Axis, or Axos, or whatever the big acquisitions were. Be more on the data side, but doing with financial offers, which there are plenty. There are plenty of publishers writing them, and I have to be the publisher to write the copy for whatever. AI helps a lot, but it would be great to move into the data warehousing part of that, because that's where you can get leverage as a single person, and also that's where there is more of the need, as market beat and Matt has exemplified. Which maybe there's less people who want to do that because it's like, I don't want to code, or it seems hard, or with ChatGPT you can do anything now. But anyway, one day at a time. Follow me on X.